Mega Camerupt is making its Pokemon Go debut during its own raid day, and by the end of this video, you'll know the best counters to solo this Pokemon, everything else the event has to offer, and the best tips to help you make the most of it. So the event does take place on Sunday, September 28th between 2 PM and 5 PM local time. But what exactly does it have to offer? Well, for the bonuses, Mega Camerupt will be appearing more frequently in raids, and the raids will be resetting every 30 minutes. Camerupt caught from these raids will have a boosted 1 in 10 shiny rate, so it's probably going to be the best chance to get this shiny. And I will be going through how good Mega Camerupt is later on in the video, so stay tuned for that. You will also be able to receive up to 5 free raid passes from spinning gyms, and these will be additional to the daily free raid pass you get, and you can keep the daily raid pass from the day before, so you can actually get a total of 7 to use on this day. Do note that the 5 free raid passes that you get from the raid day will expire at the end of the event at 5 PM, so you can't keep them. You can also get an extra free premium battle pass if you join a community ambassador meetup. To do this, you do need to head over to the Niantic Campfire app and check your local area to see if there are any community ambassador meetups for this raid day. Then you can go to the meetup, check in through the Campfire app to receive a timed research, and upon completion of this research you will receive a premium raid pass. This one you could actually choose to keep and raid something else if you wanted to, because it won't expire. And for those that can't get out and raid in person, the remote raid limit will be increasing to 20 from September 27th at 5 PM until the 28th at 8 PM PDT, meaning the remote raid limit will be 20 for both of those days. There is also an optional event ticket for $5, and it will get you 8 additional raid passes from spinning gyms. You'll have an increased chance of getting Rare Candy XL from raids, and you'll get 50% more XP and 2 times Stardust from raids. These effects will be active between 2 PM and 5 PM on the day September 28th. And you can also pick up this ticket for the same price on the Pokemon Go web store, but you will get a bonus premium raid pass with it, so worth getting it from the web store for this reason. Do note as well that you will get more reward points when buying from the web store as well, which will progress Reward Road more quickly, and this can get you some premium items at no extra cost. But to know whether or not this ticket is worth purchasing, we first need to go through whether Mega Camerupt is actually worth raiding. Is it any good in Pokemon Go? So it does require 200 Mega Energy to Mega Evolve Camerupt for the first time, so you can get this amount from one raid if you beat it fast enough. It's a fire and ground type, therefore weak to ground and double weak to water. It maxes out at 3641, it has attack of 253, defense of 183, and stamina of 172. It has access to these fast attacks and these charged attacks. Unfortunately, as a fire type attacker, it will be the worst out of all the fire type megas, and worse than a lot of non-mega, non-shadow fire type attackers as well. So it's not really going to be worth investing in as a fire type attacker. And in Go Battle League, unfortunately, Camerupt isn't any good either. So overall, this is one of those megas that you do want to get enough Mega Energy to Mega Evolve for the first time so you can get it for the Mega Dex, or it's one of those that you just use the free passes to try and get the shiny. And often it is worth getting access to a Mega just because of its typing, so it can boost candy gains for those types when Mega Evolved. But Mega Camerupt's typing of Fire and Ground isn't actually unique because Primal Groudon does have the same typing. But if you don't have access to Primal Groudon for these types, then it could be worth getting access to Mega Camerupt. But despite it not being a very relevant Pokemon, there are some reasons why you might want to play this event. Firstly, raid days are great events to play in general, and especially for free-to-play players because of the free passes you get to raid with. And even if you aren't particularly interested in the featured Pokemon, these free raids will get you a decent amount of rewards, including XP, Stardust, and Rare Candies, and you can use Rare Candies to fuel adventure effects because Rare Candy can be turned into the candy for any Pokemon of your choice. And some of the Pokemon with adventure effects don't return to raids that often. And you could also use this Rare Candy for any Pokemon of your choice, like for Legendaries and Mythicals, for example. And you can get TMs from these raids, and charged TMs in particular are useful because you will probably want to recuperate your charged TM supply after the Team Go Rocket takeover, where we have been able to remove frustration from Shadow Pokemon. Raid days are also really helpful for evolving Galarian Yamask and Hisuian Quillfish. This is because to evolve them, you need to have them as your buddy and complete 10 raids. So especially for free-to-play players, raid days are really useful for this. Not only that, but this event will be great for getting XP because of the plus 3000 XP from raids that the XP Celebration event provides. You will get 13,000 XP per raid and 26,000 per raid if you have a lucky egg active, and even more if you buy the ticket that gets you the plus 50% more XP from raids. And as raid days do feature the featured Pokemon on all gyms during the event, it's a good time to get a lot of raids done within the time limit of a lucky egg. And if you don't have many lucky eggs but you do have Dialga Candy, you could also have the option of using Origin Dialga's Roar of Time adventure effect to pause the lucky egg timer and extend its duration. So whether or not this ticket is worth picking up generally depends on what you want from the event. But if you are just shiny hunting, I wouldn't recommend picking up the ticket straight away. First, I would use the free passes to see if you get the shiny, and then if you do really want the shiny, you could think about getting the ticket. But if you are looking to maximize XP, Stardust, Rare Candy, and Rare Candy XL, despite Mega Camerupt's lack of relevance, and if you are planning on doing more raids than the free passes allow, then this ticket is going to be worth picking up for you. You may, however, find better raid pass value in the bundles in the in-game shop, and the green premium battle passes do actually have more value than the orange ones that you get from this ticket because you can use them in Go Battle League as well as raids, and they won't expire either, so that's something to bear in mind. Now, if you do decide to raid this Pokemon, what are the best counters for it? So Mega Camerupt does have a raid CP of 35,775, and the 100% IVs for Camerupt are 1252 and 1566, boosted in sunny weather. Mega Camerupt is a fire and ground type, therefore weak to ground and double weak to water type attacks. So the best counters are Primal Kyogre, Mega Swampert, Shadow Kyogre, Mega Blastoise, Shadow Gyarados, Shadow Swampert, Kyogre, Mega Gyarados, Shadow Samurott, and Shadow Feraligatr. And for budget counters which are generally easier to obtain and to power up, I would recommend going for Quaquaval, Primarina, Greninja, Golisopod, Kingler, and Gyarados. One of the benefits of doing this raid is that it is a pretty easy solo for most players, but if you don't have many good counters, or if you're a newer player for example, then I would recommend taking another trainer and partying up to use party power to make the raid easier. And if you do decide to use party power, the best counters do change a bit because of the way party power does boost the charge attacks. So the best counters with party power are Primal Kyogre, Mega Swampert, Shadow Kyogre, Mega Blastoise, Shadow Palkia, Shadow Swampert, Kyogre, Shadow Gyarados, Primal Groudon, and Shadow Feraligatr. And if your team is struggling with beating Mega Camerupt within the time limit of the raid, then do remember you do have the option of using Crown Zacian's Behemoth Blade Adventure effect, which will increase the damage of raid attackers by 10%. And if you do want to maximize candy for Camerupt from these raids, you can use Pinap Berries to catch it, and you can Mega Evolve any Pokemon to get more candy because it is a raid caught Pokemon. But if you want to get more Candy XL, then you would need to Mega Evolve a ground or fire type, such as Charizard, Steelix, Houndoom, Blaziken, Swampert, Camerupt itself, Garchomp, or you could revert Groudon into its primal form. And Swampert would be the best here because not only will it boost candy, but it is one of the best counters as well. And if you can, Mega Evolve a Pokemon that is at the max Mega level to get more candy, XP, and chance for Candy XL. And if you do struggle with catching Camerupt after the raid, I would recommend using one of the Kyurem adventure effects. Black Kyurem's Free Shock adventure effect will increase catch rate by 25%, and it stops the Pokemon from moving around, so it is easier to land a throw on a stationary target. Alternatively, you could use White Kyurem's Ice Burn adventure effect, which will increase catch rate by 50%, and it will slow down the catch circle when it's small to allow you to more easily land excellent throws. And trading can get you some extra candy depending on the distance between the locations where the two Pokemon were caught. But this season, because of the seasonal bonus, every trade will get you an extra candy and a guaranteed Candy XL. And this guaranteed Candy XL won't stack with the one from distance. And as this event does take place on a Sunday, you can benefit from Trade Days, which is a mini event that happens on Sundays only during this season, and it offers trading bonuses including +1 special trade, increased chance for lucky trades, -10% Stardust cost for trades, and you'll get +2 Candy XL from trades. So this is going to be really useful when building Candy and Candy XL for Camerupt, but also with the increased chance for lucky trades, there is a better chance you'll get a Hundo or a Shundo because of the 12-12-12 IV floor, which means there is a 1 in 64 chance of getting a Hundo or a Shundo if shiny. And if trading isn't an option for you, I do recommend waiting until Aron Spotlight Hour that happens on the 30th at 6 PM because you will be able to get 2 times transfer candy during this time. But if you're not interested in raiding Mega Camerupt, you could still use the increased remote raid limit to raid other Pokemon in raids that are available outside of the 3 hours of the Mega Camerupt raid day. So around the time of this raid day, in 5-star raids will be Dialga, in Mega raids will be Mega Kangaskhan and Mega Lopunny. But which of these are worth raiding? Well, Dialga is the 11th best Steel type attacker with Metal Claw and Iron Head, and it's ranked 20 in the Master League. Not only that, but its candy can be used to fuel Origin Dialga's Roar of Time adventure effect, so this one is definitely a good target to go after. For Mega raids, both Mega Lopunny and Kangaskhan have no meta relevance, but of the two, Kangaskhan could be worth it if you need Kangaskhan for the dex, or if you're shiny hunting it, because outside of these Mega Kangaskhan raids, Kangaskhan is an Australia exclusive regional. So out of all of these raid bosses, I would recommend prioritizing Dialga. And if you did find this video helpful, then I recommend checking out this video on the screen next, and I'll catch you in the next one.